Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wow. He made me stay quiet. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He made me stay quiet for like 2 minutes. I had the best one liner, which was I was born ready. So we missed that. Was that a setup? Did you do that on purpose?
No, just making sure we start in a sensible and logical way with time. Not
According
in the middle,
according-
mid-conversation as we often do. So,
Well, our conversation was about double dating. No, you and me dating.
yeah.
You missed that, people. He
Yeah.
started it late.
I said not to mention that.
What happens in the podcast studio stays in the pod. Astaghfirullah.
Yeah.
Anyway, talk to me, brother from another mother. How are you?
We only saw each other on the weekend. We had
Yeah.
Mashallah,
That's true.
Jazakallah khair for very, need all the recipes. So,
Actually?
Yeah. I got orders from the missus. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Really?
So you were the chef.
I love cooking. I mean, it's
So what
not
was
like
it that you cooked?
Okay, are we actually going to do this? All right. So
It's very
it
white.
It was. You can't get more white than that. It was steak. So
Which
we had-
steak?
We had porterhouse steak and rump steak.
Okay.
So the porterhouse was the ones that was whole, and the rump was the one that was cut
Yeah.
and then fried twice. Cooked twice.
And how did you cook it?
Thyme, garlic, olive oil,
And
And-
where?
a lot of salt.
It was an oven?
No.
frying
On the
pan.
skillet. Dude, you didn't even walk into the kitchen while I was
Oh,
slaving.
okay.
Barefoot and pregnant, slaving away. This man did not leave my lounge room.
Yeah.
Come and have a conversation.
I was there sitting with Mufti Haris and
Yeah, right.
yeah. Well,
And,
while he was asleep and I was on my phone.
Do you know he rode from Tanit?
Yeah.
That's
But
phenomenal.
It took like 3 hours, something,
Yeah, but
4
that's amazing.
3-4 hours,
Like, that's the type of imams we want.
yeah. Yeah, riding 4 hours.
Did you ride from Doncaster?
Hey, I do 2,000 steps on the
Allahu
stair
Akbar.
climber. So
Still?
no.
Okay, well, there you go.
No, I
so,
can.
we did steak. What else did we do? We had prawns.
The prawns are nice
So
as
they
well.
were the
Very
garlic
juicy,
prawns. That
mashallah.
was meant to go with the mushroom sauce. My
The
special-
mushroom sauce was
my
okay.
Wow.
No, you need to put something to make it a bit thicker.
What was missing was parmesan cheese.
Not just cheese, it was very liquidy.
Yeah.
So you need to put some, what is it, cornstarch or one of those things?
No, that kills it. I don't like that stuff. Potatoes,
Yeah.
roast veggies. What else was there? And then the apple crumble by the missus. That was amazing.
Mm.
It was good.
Yeah, it was good, mashallah, jazakallah khair. And yeah.
Meanwhile,
so just olive oil,
we're still waiting for the brisket.
rosemary,
Mm.
thyme,
Yep.
and
So the idea is you got to dry it, like you got to get rid of all the moisture from your steak.
mm,
So you take it out, leave it on the butcher's paper.
right.
Whilst it's resting on the butcher's paper, after it's like butcher's paper on top and bottom.
Yeah.
Then you take it off and it's nice and dry. Then you drown it with salt,
Mm.
Like crushed salt. Drown it with the
Yeah.
salt and pepper, not too much pepper. After a little while, when it's cured or whatever they want to call it, then you start your skillet extremely hot.
Mm.
And olive oil, thyme. So what you actually do is you lay the thyme on the skillet.
Mm.
So the steak cooks on top of the thyme.
Yep.
Like obviously it's still touching the skillet because it's not that much time. And then also pieces of garlic that are chopped underneath and around. So the smell goes into that.
Okay.
Dude, I'm on my... I'm
So-
trying
so-
this water
so you-
fast and this man is making me talk about food. Killing
Water
me.
fast. How long are you doing it for?
I was aiming for I've been aiming to just hit 24 hours. The problem is
Yeah.
yesterday, I started yesterday morning, the night before. I would have been all right. But then I got home and mashallah, there was some good dinner waiting. Couldn't help it.
I've done 72 hours.
Yeah, I've done that once.
Yeah.
How did you feel at the end of it?
I mean, obviously you feel better and you sort of introduce like soups and whatever. But yeah, it's all right. It's like,
I want to reach...
it's surprising how much your body, what you can do, and you can actually do your work and get around, do stuff. You just have to be conscious of not getting caught out.
Right now, I'm
Yeah.
starving, but I'm not hungry. I'm hungry, but I'm not starving. So I can
Yeah.
feel there's hunger there and I could eat, but I'm actually not... I don't need to eat.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm buzzing right now. Like I'm on speed. Not that I've ever taken speed.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like, I feel like,
Yeah,
I
I
have
get
a
it.
lot of energy.
Yeah.
Even though it's been a
It's,
big day.
someone said that, one alim said that the enjoyment of hunger is more than enjoyment of eating.
Yeah. It's
So maybe like getting attuned to that, you get a certain, a buzz maybe, that's what it is.
It's a buzz right now. However, I would have been able to break my 24-hour water fast when I got home tonight. I forgot all about it this morning, and on the way, out to work, I got myself a juice. Literally one juice killed it.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm waiting till tomorrow morning, and maybe my end goal is the 1 week, 7 day or 10 day fast that helps the body reach autophagy.
Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Where your body starts eating its old or corrupted cells.
Yeah, and it like flushes out.
And so I want to do that because there's a lot of corruption and oldness in me right now. I'm trying to flush out all that corruption. See how we go.
Interesting.
But I haven't lasted because every time I go home, there's some like mean food on the table.
Ramadan's a good time to do it as well. Just suhoor. You can do it on a daily basis. I mean, in a way, I was doing that, I guess, every day.
So what?
Just suhoor is just water.
How long did you do it for?
No, the whole Ramadan. Last Ramadan, the Ramadan before that as well.
You did the whole of Ramadan?
No. I ate suhoor and stuff at the iftar. No suhoor.
Okay.
Suhoor is just a glass of water just to fill the sunnah and get the barakah.
I never. Okay. I need to do that.
Yeah, so like you sort of like doing intermittent fasting, 20 hours window, and you drink water in the night, and suhoor, drink water, and that's it. And then during the day, you're not eating or drinking.
Did you find a difference?
I went the year before, I went a bit much more, but what I was doing? I was doing exercise before, and I was doing this year a bit as well, an hour before iftar to go like just sweat, run like on treadmill, do like 6 kilometers, like fast walk on do an hour on the treadmill.
Yeah, but then how much more did you eat when you broke fast?
No, then you have to control that. You have to be very careful of after, I wasn't having like baklawa and biryanis and whatever else that delicious foods that you can. It's sweet and crispy and like an almond,
now you're rubbing
and a cream-filled croissant or something, which is available in they're halal or New York cheesecake.
No,
freshly made.
No, it does nothing for me. You know what's good? You know what's good? Daniel's Donuts, the pies.
Yeah.
The steak and cheese pie.
Yeah, this Daniel. It's a halal donuts chain.
Yeah.
I only went to it 2 days ago.
Have you ever had one of their donuts?
I grabbed one.
I'm willing to break my 24
I grabbed one for the kids, and like it was, I was shocked.
It's good. It's still not as good as Walker's Donuts, but it's pretty good. But their pies are amazing.
It's halal. She brought the certificate. She brought the certificate out.
Did you have the pie? Have you ever had the pies?
They got meat pies?
Yeah, man.
And they're halal?
Yes, man.
Who owns this place?
I don't know.
We should find out. I mean, I saw the certificate.
No, this is from the whole pies thing. Everything is from I've got it from someone I trust.
Right.
And every time I've called him, like, dude, I'm hungry. He's like, just find your nearest Daniel's Donuts.
Right.
When I'm in the Southeast and I try and figure out, he knows who he is. You know who you are. When I'm in the Southeast and I'm trying to figure out what to eat.
Yeah.
Actually, there is a plug that I want to give: street food turkey for those in the Southeast.
What is it?
Street food turkey. So it's basically your normal kebabs. Right? No.
I'm over the kebabs.
Brother, listen to this.
Yeah.
It's not kebab meat.
Yeah.
It's proper slices of meat cooked on the thing. And you can see the slices, like it's meat.
Yeah, like, the kebab. I'm sorry to the kebab lovers, but kebab meat's like, doesn't do it.
Yeah, you haven't had this one.
No. Can I say in general, kebab meat?
In general, yeah. It's overrated.
It's over. It's not overrated. It's nothing now. Like
it's because it's just crap. Like it's not crap.
Like you think like, why not make it a little bit interesting or change it up? Generally, it's just such a like standardized.
It's the leftover meat that's just been compressed.
It's not just the leftover meat. It's like the sauces don't change. It's
it's like ask a Turk, they'll probably say it's been going for centuries.
And you have a look at like the Mexican food truck. I mean, I don't know if there's any halal ones, but you look at the way they make their little breads, and it's much more interesting. The spices.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Nah, give me a good kebab any day.
No.
Yeah, give me a good kebab any day.
It's too standardized and boring, honestly.
Bro.
It's like 3 sauces. They got like 3 sauces.
This is the Southeast. If I I'm not in the Southeast tomorrow. If next time I come to the Southeast, I'm taking you out for lunch.
Okay. I'm yet to be impressed by kebab places.
Wait till you taste this place.
Yeah.
I will give it a plug because I was exactly like you. I was quite hesitant.
I was when I went to Turkey, they don't eat like
this and recognize this. That's how I felt as well. But what I found was once I tasted it, it's a sales pitch from the call center.
I had a Skandar kebab in Konya in Turkey.
Yeah.
And every like region and every village or town's got its own version of kebab.
How are the kebabs there?
It's different. That's what I'm saying. Every town and village got its own kebab. So they're local.
Taste what? Say your average kebab. How did it taste?
Yeah, like for example, Iskandar kebab.
Yeah, was it better?
Like it was better, and just like you're eating in a restaurant, and then like not even like a you know, like just normal restaurant on the street. You just walk past and go, all right, yeah, I'll have a Iskandar because that's all I know in Australia. That's good. And then they like ghee.
Yeah.
Like they pour like a ladle of ghee on it.
That explains a lot.
And just like tastier. Like
Is it?
it's tastier. The tomato sauce is tastier. The meat is tastier.
Mashallah.
Everything is there. The bread that they've used in it is tastier. I don't know what it is, but
There's
it's
a Turkish place down this way that I used to frequent a lot, but it's become too expensive. And what you
Right.
get for what you're paying, I feel like it's not even about value for money. I don't feel like what I paid justifies what I'm eating.
yeah.
Like it does. The only place that I still feel like that is Tiba's down this way.
Oh, okay.
Have you had their
Yeah.
quails? Nah, man, they got good quail.
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
their quail. They got good quail.
Yeah.
What? We're still talking about food.
Hey, we
Can
should go to, when you come to South, we'll go to the halal Vietnamese place.
Done.
Yeah, that's like there's a halal Vietnamese.
Where's that?
It's near Springvale.
I need to cough now because I haven't drank.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Why are we still talking about food?
maybe we're hungry. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm not hungry yet. I'm not hungry actually, but because I had this chicken wings at my mum's before I came here. Oh, I'm glad I'm helping you with your diet.
It's not actually a
Be
diet.
strong.
I'm not doing it for diet purposes. I'm doing it for okay, I'm doing it for diet purposes. Let's be
Yeah.
real here. I put on weight because. Anyway,
Yeah.
I want to talk about a new segment.
What's that?
What happened in Jummah? I think that's a good idea.
What's the?
So, what was your last Jummah khutbah about? I want to know.
It's about
all
death. Thinking about death, and how much you have to. You have to think about death a lot.
Okay, I
Yeah.
was yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really go anywhere with that. Okay.
No, we can because that's
Talk
it.
to
Actually,
me. Tell me. Talk to me.
So, I'll just bring up I won't give the whole Jummah khutbah here, but the last Jummah, I did a PGCC last week. Last week was a PGCC. But I gave a similar khutbah. I'm just trying to find the quote that I used for the khutbah.
So, did you do the same khutbah at two different masjids?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's just unfortunately for brothers who come to both masjids.
You reckon they felt like they got ripped off?
What's that?
The brothers that came to both masjids?
Inshallah, like
They didn't get their
money.
money's worth, mate.
Huh?
They didn't get their money's worth.
Just trying to find the
My
quote,
voice is
quote
really...
that I used in the.
So the khutbah was thinking about death?
Yeah, the khutbah was about Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that
Sallallahu Alaihi
increase from the remembrance of death, and so he said increase akthiru, do with kathra, with profusely. To do that, the ulama have explained you can't just do it once, like once a day or once off or something like that, and so you have to do it repeatedly. So on a daily basis, meaning at work, at home, when your family.
Oh, okay, constantly.
Going, coming, like it's a constant, like it's a, actually like to fulfill the order of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then you'll have to do it repeatedly and always and many times, so per day to fulfill that order. And when you do that, so there are certain things so someone came to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, another hadith, Ya Rasulullah, who's the Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu narration. He said, I was one of 10. And one Ansari from among us asked Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who's the most intelligent of people and who's the most intelligent, who's the most honorable one? And he said the most intelligent person is the one who prepares, who remembers death and excessively, and then has the most intense preparation for it. And then he said those ones that they've taken the respect. They've gone and taken the respect of this world and the honor of the hereafter as well. And what's the honor of this world? What's the respect of this world? Like in Akhirah, we can understand, like, yeah, those who prepared for it, they done the right things for Akhirah. But what's in this world? How is a person honored? So one of the ulama of the past, pious people of the past, he mentions the honor of this world. So the one who remembers death a lot, he's honored with three things. The first thing is he does tawbah quickly. When you remember death a lot, you make sure you have all your bases covered. So if you've done anything wrong, you'll be asking forgiveness.
I'm in Tawbah 24/7 then.
So if you're remembering death, then you'll be prepared. You're making you'll be on top of your tawbah. And if you don't, and the punishment or sort of like the byproduct of not remembering it is that a person is humiliated with. He delays in tawbah and he dies probably without it as well, because death is like a far removed thing from his mind, so he's got no concern about it. Hence, he's not concerned for the preparation for after death. So he misses out on making tawbah. The other thing is that he will have the one who makes he's profuse in remembering death is that he will have have energy, like he'll be motivated and not be lazy in ibadah. So he'll be motivated in ibadah. Like the one knows that he's going to die and it's in front of him, right in front of him, then he's going to do all the things. Because for him now is like just, I have to bank and store amal to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he'll be motivated and he'll be driven for his thing. And the one who doesn't do that, the one who forgets death, he's lazy in his worship. He's punished with his laziness in worship. So he does things late, or he doesn't do it, or he misses it. He's just constantly he's just lazy regarding worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
I got a question for you. Have you heard of the term? I don't know if I've just coined it, but ibadah burnout, where you're saying you remember death and you do ibadah so much and you're constantly doing ibadah, but you do it so much that it's too much.
No.
For some people, it might be too much.
No.
I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example. Right? There's some people that try so hard because they put so much pressure on themselves. So they're going from one to the next, or trying to constantly be remembering death and all of this, and all of a sudden it just gets overwhelming. Yeah. And then they slide to such an extent that, everything goes out the window. There's no moderation there. Do you think moderation is important in this?
I think
or balance. I don't know the right word.
No, burnout is depends on what you're talking about. Burnout. See, someone is like not fulfilling the rights of his body, not see the advice that's given.
No, fulfilling the rights of the body, eating, drinking, doing all that stuff, but just
and fulfilling the rights of family.
Trying to constantly be on.
You're supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not supposed to be like in ghafla. That's the point of
actually fulfilling the rights that you have to fulfill. I think it's continuing with life while doing the ibadah. Yeah,
I mean, you're right. So Rasulullah ﷺ told Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiallahu anhu, he was like gone into full, but he wasn't burning out, but Rasulullah ﷺ told him that your wife has a right upon you, and your nafs has a right upon you, yourself has a right upon you, your guest has a right upon you. So there is a thing, but that's not for a person who's not fulfilling his like obligation. If someone is working generally, fulfilling his work responsibilities and family responsibilities, including giving time to them, social, and you're rewarded for that as well.
Yeah, okay. That is ibadah.
Huh?
That is part of your ibadah. It's not just necessarily I'm reading Quran and praying salat.
Yeah. So in a way, like he's balanced in that sense. So he gives time for worship and family and work. So that's a balance. But like if a person so you have to remember death a lot. If you want to be like the thing that drives you, and it creates a light in your heart. And this is the difference between
it creates a light in your heart.
Yeah. So worry about akhirah is you're rewarded for, and it's a nur in your heart. While worry of dunya is what burns you out. So it's a worry about dunya that's burning people out, not the worry of akhirah. Yep. Worry of akhirah creates nur, while worry of dunya creates darkness in the heart. So, it's
food for thought.
Yeah. Just 1 second. I just always forget this, but just trying to see.
Are we still waiting on your quote?
Yeah.
You still haven't found it after all that?
No, I'll find it. Don't worry. Relax, Max.
Is that an iPhone?
It is an iPhone.
How can you trust those devices anymore? You need to move to Chinese.
Huh?
Chinese brands, bro. Chinese brands.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, if so the khutbah was basically about death preparation. And so one of the sheikhs, and I'll finish off with this, so I don't want to talk too much about the khutbah.
No,
already.
this is important. This is interesting.
So the way you do that, he said, actually, goes, take some time out. And I mentioned this as well, that the dua for sleeping, dua for waking up is a muraqabah or a meditation of death. Allahumma bismillah amutu ahya, Allah, in your name do I live and die, right? So you're already mentioning death, and when you go to sleep, and when you alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma matana wa ilayhi nushur, the dua for waking up, all praise you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given life after death, right? So already you're forced to confront death by your statement before you sleep and after you wake up, and that's the sunnah duas, right? So muraqabah or contemplation or meditation or whatever you want to call it on death in English is something. So one of the sheikhs suggested, one of Darov, he's alive, very senior sheikh. So he in Darul Karachi, he suggested something that he does to implement the order of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, I spend some time, 5 minutes. You can do it for 5 minutes. You can do it your way, but I imagine that, let's say I have a heart attack, I'm in the hospital, and then the family, you got a few minutes to live or a few hours to live. The family comes and I don't pass away, and they put the sheet over me, and then I think of the doctors giving the news to the family and their reaction, and then how I'm taken to the place to wash the bodies, and my body's washed, and then coffin is put on me, and then the imam lines up the people in safs, and my body's put in front of him, and then salat is led over me, and then I'm taken to the grave, and then dirt, and then he goes, your best mates come, and they make sure they put extra dirt. The more friend, the bigger the friend, the more dirt, and he makes and they're the ones that take the pickup. The ones that never they don't get let go of the shovel. They got to do extra. No, we don't want the bulldozer. We want to do it. We want to put dirt on our friend. So, and then they pat it down with their. I'm just adding this in. They pat it down. True. They pat it down with their shovels, like really slamming that he doesn't get out. So he's, get rid of him. So, but that's the loyalty. That's a final sort of loyalty to the friend, right? So that that leg go. So he said, I go through this exercise of fulfilling the order of remembering death as a Rasulullah sallallahu, but he showed a practical example of it, right? So these sort of things, and he said that this is, and he says the reason why, and this is the crucial part of remembering death. The reason why we hear so many talks of deen, so many lectures, so many books, so many talks, but it doesn't change us. If you think about it, like in the last 5 years, 6 years, where my amal is, where my life is, where my connection with Allah, fear of Allah, love of Allah, my heart's condition, my actions have changed or improved. It might have even actually gone backwards. Overall, the sum of my good actions. So it's extremely. Just look at the chat. What's happening? Yeah. So
finish what you're saying.
Yeah. So it's extremely important that to bring that life into our ibadah, worship, and to bring things into action. The Sheikh was saying that we're not like so many talks and books and people reminding us, and we're still not changing. Why? Because the reality of death is not in front of us, And he said then death is a thing that Rasulullah has told us, and Mashaykh say that two things that will help propel us in our deen, that remembrance of death, and second is profuse salawat on the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sending peace and blessing on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These things create a light in the heart that helps a person guide them in their life, in their deen, and so forth. So those are two things that are extremely important. So anyway, that was approximately what the khutbah was about, and a few other points as well. But
that's a bit full
yeah, I mean it's important, like because we are listening. I'm talking, you're listening, and talking has now become just listening. Like now we're doing what they call the lust, kanuki ayashi, something like that. In order to say that, like just the pleasure of the ears. That's all it is. Just listening
to your voice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just listening to talks and or even Quran and so forth. I mean, isn't it like scary that we're listening to soothing, like even when we search for Quran, and if you just put in Quran qiraat, you'll hear all the adjectives after it's soothing, deep, whatever.
For sleep.
Yeah. So it's kind of, we're in this sort of weird place in our deen as generally in society, and that's better than listening to music and so forth. But then, we're in a weird category because are we feeding the machine? Are we feeding the monster? That's where Rasulullah said the majority of the qaris will be the munafiqeen. The end of times, or the qaris will be the hypocrites, right? So is that what we're doing? Like,
Man, I'm glad I got a bad
are
voice.
we, huh?
I'm glad I got a bad voice.
So it's, like, are we feeding ourselves by feeding that monster that we are the end of times, just through what we're like, the consumer is creating the demand for, it's not like other people. We want, what's the, what are the shows when they film people like in their lives?
Reality shows?
Yeah, reality shows, and the worst of characters. And why that even exists? Because people want that, Why do even Muslim people like watch it? Like because they want that in Muslim countries. Why they're popular? Because people want to be part of
Like Big Brother?
the drama.
Do you remember the Big Brother?
Big Brother, and then you got soap operas and like soapies in back home as well. Musalsalat, those series.
Oh, the Paki ones are intense.
Yeah, and all of those ones.
They're on
Like, what
another
is
level.
it? Like, what is it about that? About it, we've created those things because there's a market for it. It's a.
There was one sheikh that I think put it quite aptly. It's a talk on YouTube actually, entertaining ourselves to death.
Yeah. When are we gonna plug out of this system?
You just freaked.
When
me
are we
out.
gonna stop this podcast?
God, you stress me out, man. There goes my Netflix because of subscription.
Press the subscribe and press the bell icon to next week, and do not watch anything else till next week when you come back.
Because Sheikh Khaled is the nur for your heart.
Astaghfirullah.
God.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Maybe we should have ended with that topic. Anyway, you're right. May Allah give us all the ability to remember death often.
I mean,
The cutter off of pleasures.
the destroyer of
The
pleasures.
destroyer of pleasures.
Yes.
One translation I read, cutter off, that was a bad translation.
Yeah, there's some weird translations you see, like from the 80s. Today I was doing something. I was going through my dad's.
Have you read the Hayat Sahaba from the 80s, the Desi translation?
There's a few shockers, but I was going through today was a kind of a sad, sort of sad day. So my father passed away, what, now? 17. So
Is that the anniversary?
no, there's no anniversary, but like how many years has it been?
Okay, it was today the day.
Seventh. Okay, so 6th, 7th year.
Was today the day?
So no.
Oh, okay.
So
It sounded like it was.
so he
Rahmatullah alayh.
rahimullah. So his library. So a lot of what you see outside. So this studio is inside a madrasa, you could say, and so next door to us outside is like a musalla madrasa, and so probably a third of those books are probably from my father.
Is that right?
Yeah. So his
all
books.
those books.
Yeah, the library. So it's become library. Students use
Mashallah.
it. It's available to students and teachers alike and ulama. And then like some of the books I took home, so they're with me in my library. And then some of the books were left, so they're left in my mum's place. So she doesn't read Arabic.
Are there notes in them?
There are some things with notes, not in the books. There's like bookmarks or some papers and things. So we had to go through because we have to, you can't just leave them there. So then some of them we had to get rid of. So probably they'll get burnt. They're like old, like little booklets and so forth. And then there was some that will be brought here, so they'll be added to the library here, and then some I'll take home as well. So there's to remove all those books.
Does he have something that where you're like, oh, I can't find that anymore?
Yeah. There's like the pile that I took is like books that are started. There's a pile of books that I've got now, like an instant library, like 2-3 bookshelves of of books that I've taken. I'll be taking. I bought some here actually. You have to
Ones you can't find in a general place.
Oh no, you won't be able to find these ones.
Oh, wow.
So there are. So there was those books,
So
and then
why wouldn't you not be able to find it?
it's just not available. Like there's no market for this. Like it's a 20-volume Arabic book. Where are you going to find that book in a
To
bookshop?
speak Arabic?
No. It's a fiqh book or a hadith
Okay.
commentary or something like that. So anyway, but it was kind of like going through his his books, and then there was like photos of the mosque and from like 30 years ago, like when his extension was done, or just things we found here and there, and
Yeah.
or his friends over the years, stuff from them. Like you find a postcard from an uncle from the mosque who passed away. So he was like Niagara Falls, and he wrote Hyderabadi.
Oh, wow.
He wrote like a
And he
postcard.
wrote to your dad.
He wrote a postcard from the Niagara Falls, like in really like a high,
Oh, flowing Urdu.
like amazing, like poetic, like
Wow.
Urdu, and like you find things and little bits and
What did he
pieces.
say about it?
Or for example, like someone did a marriage thing, and there was like a note there, like in Arabic, bad akhlaq and didn't pay either. He did their marriage.
No
like
way.
notes on the back of these cases, marriage cases that he was dealing with, but like 30 years ago.
Bad akhlaq.
Bad akhlaq. Sayyul khuluq, and he goes, didn't pay anything either for the services, So like I got to burn all those ones. It's like they kind of.
They're the ones you got to frame.
Huh?
They're the ones you got to frame.
But there's people's details on it, so I don't know who they are. It's long gone.
Block out the details.
Hey, when it comes to the marriage thing, like just of a side note, life in Imam, right? So,
how much you making,
the
mate?
people. I wish I made like some other imams, but anyway, let's not go there.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't believe with a straight face you can give those prices. But anyway, let's.
My thing to use, like what we're discussing, you need to.
No, there is a
People
market.
spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on weddings, tens of thousands of dollars on weddings.
Yeah, I know. People put flower arrangements for very small things.
If you come along and say, I want $1,000.
And if you're doing the
okay,
thing,
that's a lot.
but no, that's too much. But
50 weddings a year, you're done.
50 weddings is
Cash
not
in
that easy
hand.
to come by.
That's because you're not an approachable sheikh.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
So it was just this one. Let me just see the chat thing. Why it's not. Oh, here we go. Some question. Sorry, apologies. We couldn't see the messages. Now we're seeing them. Yeah.
I gotta get off this stuff. One thing not eating is doing that is making me sleepy. With energy.
So back to the wedding thing. Like just this week.
What was the
Not
chat?
the last few weeks. Like some people that basically they are doing. There's a lot of. I thought this was old things. Mufti Haris is saying very tasty sheikh, very tasty steak, mashallah. He's joined us, mashallah. Barakallah fiqh, Mufti Sahib. On behalf of
that's his input after the topic of death.
we forgot quickly. We'll get to the current affairs in a moment because there are some discussion.
He's
topics
reminding me.
related.
Like, talk
But
about
the
this.
people that are doing like dodgies and just lie to the imam. Like a guy called me regarding marriage and then said his wife became Muslim and then she didn't become Muslim.
What's
right?
the point of that?
Like no, but like you lie like what kind of like a
Well, my thing
person,
is, what's
like-
the point of doing nikah then?
and you don't even know any no nikah will get them out of haram. But the thing is that it's
Even if she's a non-Muslim, depends on.
there's
Now that we're getting to fiqh.
specific cases, yeah. But like terrible, or the guy that's like, sweet talk to Australian passport holder, and now like needs an imam to sort of like, to like, and as soon as you say because in most of the madhahib, a wali is a condition for the validity of nikah.
Yep.
So her guardian. So sometimes for converts or some cases, the she's cut off from the family. The imam steps in as a wali.
Okay.
Now the thing is that if he's a wali that is on par with the father, in the sense of that to feel the responsibility, and what's the point of a wali is to look out for her interest. So as soon as I say, okay, can I have a phone number to speak to her?
Yep.
Right? They ghost you.
Yeah.
because
Really?
because like another man is stepping into the thing to now critique him honestly, doing an honest review,
Oh,
to
wow.
do an honest review, and so they ghost you because they
So
realize
they call you and say, "Can you be
it's my
the wali as
mistake.
an
I
imam?"
should let it continue until she came to the office and then spoke to her directly. But there's a lot of this stuff goes on, like, and this is for visas. They're trying to get married for paperwork. Still, that stuff is still going on in Australia. Like, and it's not a Muslim
but does the
specific
girl know
problem.
this?
Well, she's gonna know when she speaks to me. So,
Damn.
yeah. So there's people just
You know what that guy did when he put the phone down? Dodged a bullet with this imam. That's why you're not
Uh-huh.
getting the 50 weddings a year, mate.
I step in. I don't go anywhere either. I said I'll just do nikah in my timetable in the mosque. And
Yeah, I know.
the reason is like this too. It's hard to control when you go to quote unquote wedding halls. There's haram going on. Music is playing. Like it's like and
Yeah, but what if they say we're not going to play the music while you're there?
that's really weird. Like
Why?
that's a very weird thing to do. So,
No, they don't have music. You turn up, you do the nikah. They pack you a takeaway.
but put it another way. There's a haram going on. We're going to stop the haram. You come and do the nikah. Then we'll continue the haram afterwards. How you feel about that, mate? Like,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's it's very it's a very weird. It's a very it's a very sweet and
have you ever had that where you weren't in control and music started blaring?
I mean, they put I don't want to say because it's like I'll give too many specifics about.
Don't give specifics. Just tell us.
Yeah, so no, I'm not going to give any.
Say
specific.
one time.
No, there's
one person.
Look, there's too much Bollywood, unfortunately, especially in our community.
About this is,
and this is
there's a lot of Bollywood.
Yeah,
and the girls dance in front of everyone as well. They actually practice the dance.
There's no like shame. Like actually, the shamelessness is unbelievable. The guys dance as well, but it just
I'm saying like a movie.
Yeah. I mean, Haya, I don't know what's gone on because, I mean, they're not like practicing Deen anyway. A lot of people are not practicing. Sadly, they're not practicing Deen anyway. So
I don't think it's so much practicing, but understanding of Deen maybe?
No, they're not practicing Deen. So if they were practicing Deen, they would be obeying the orders of Allah even in the weddings, right? So it just...
I'm trying to be gentle here, but okay.
Yeah. And I don't do long wedding speeches either. Do short ones.
What's your wedding speech? Give us a wedding speech.
No, I just the khutbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then I explained the 3 verses of taqwa that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned.
What are they?
Fear Allah, whose name that you invoke. Fear whose name that you and the wombs. So taqullah, the one that you invoke in your is I swear by Allah, or in the relationship that you invoke. For example, you're my father, you're my son, you're my daughter, whatever. Fear Allah in this matter, and fear Allah. Don't say any, what is it? I've gone blank.
That's because you don't do enough weddings. Because you're too grumpy.
Speak that which is upright.
Yep.
And so fear Allah. So in all 3 verses have one common thread, which is fear of Allah. So because you're talking about another person who's a slave of Allah that's coming into a relationship with you, and hence they are slaves of Allah, they're owned by Allah, you don't own them, and you're accountable to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala how you treat that other person. So you'll be asked by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anyway, so it's not to be treated lightly. So fear Allah as you ought to be feared. Thank you, Mufti Sab.
What did Mufti Sab say?
He's saying,
corrected you, didn't he?
And don't die except that you're a Muslim. So these are the advices. These are the quotes that Rasulullah in his khutbah of nikah is mentioning. So I just mention about this. And the last one, I go a little bit extra, speak that which is upright, because most of the problems comes out of not controlling the tongue. Right? Speak that which is upright. Don't speak any rotten speech. Speak wholesome speech. And if you do that, Allah will forgive your past sins and also rectify your future actions.
Allahu Akbar.
And Allah is ever watchful of you. So these are the so that's generally what I say, and I just get to that because it's like 5 to 10 minutes I explain this. Give encouragement and then congratulations, because people are not in the mood to listen to speeches. In janazas, I speak longer. Yeah, everyone's paying it. When the muraqab of death, again, people are reflecting on their own mortality.
I've never been to a janaza with you.
Haven't? I mean...
How many janazas do you do a year?
Mufti Haris does them a lot.
He's in a big area.
He's always leaving early madrasa. The janazas happens every week.
Speaking of Mufti Haris, special guest next week.
Yeah, inshallah, he'll be here. He'll join us in the chat.
He'll
join us next week. Inshallah. Inshallah, he'll be with us next week. We'll be talking about, is there another guest coming next week?
Yeah, we've got Azim from Muslim Vote Matters. So my idea is Mufti Haris and yourself will be from the Islamic side of things. Azim from MVM, I want him to explain what it's all about. I know it's been explained to death, but then I want to discuss current situations.
This is very offensive to me. I know the Islamic point of view, but no, you say you guys I appreciate your respect as well, but it's we don't know about the world.
No. I'm not saying you don't know. No. Okay, I phrased that incorrectly.
Yeah, you did.
I phrased that incorrectly. It's not my fault. You got your head in the sand, mate. Right? No, I'm joking. Yeah. What I mean by that is because once we did a podcast regarding the votes and the council elections and federal elections and things like that. A lot of things have happened since then.
Yes.
Right? And there's been a lot of developments, a lot of arguments, a lot of stuff. Mufti Haris has been a champion of rationality.
In various groups,
for want of a better word.
Mm-hmm.
And he's literally just saying, okay, this and this. So, but then I've got some other information from other people. So it's more about a discussion. It's a Masjid Carpark, so we're not going to have a debate, but a discussion.
Yeah.
And
to understand,
just psyche.
Yeah. Inshallah, we'll talk about it next week and the week after, inshallah. Idnillah.
You know what my son said? The one that's overseas?
Yeah.
He goes, from that chat, because he's on that chat, he goes,
Yeah.
I understand these people now.
Oh, really?
Because he's in Pakistan, he's got to deal with them.
Oh, okay.
He's like, you know how much better I can deal with these people? Just from that chat. I was like, wow.
It's always good to understand people and know how to work with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about the election and voting next week. But I said a list of American imams signed about voting third party. Yeah, the issue is a bit more. It's much more complicated than that. But we'll talk about it, inshallah, next week and the week after.
Yeah.
All right. So at the moment, there's some like du'at and some social commentators from the Muslims, who the head of Hezbollah, he got killed by the Israelis. And number one, and of course the pager attack, which we mentioned last week, and also the mobile phone attack.
The constant bombing of Lebanon now?
Yeah. So the thing is that the problem is Hezbollah has been, involved in the Syrian genocides, their death squads and so forth.
Is that right?
Yeah, because they're with Bashar Assad, right? So because Bashar Assad, Iran, so these Shia sort of militias, Yemen, the Houthis, all of these Shia militias and groups, the Alawis in Syria and so forth, they're propped up by Iran at the cost of the local Sunni populations. They've suffered at their hands. So for many Syrians, when they see Hezbollah copying it, they celebrate. And there's a statement, I was one group and they were mentioning, I think it was Imam Malik's statement. Let me just find it.
That seems to be quite controversial, what you're saying right now, young man.
It is controversial, and there's people that are in it's sort of like a very weird thing, because one side, they're being hit by the people that are hitting
the enemy of
Gaza,
Yeah.
Gaza. So it's
and these guys are fighting for Gaza.
Well, yeah. 1 second. Let me just see if I can find that statement. Yeah, so it said that Imam Malik rahmahullah said, Allah will take revenge from a wrongdoer, a zalim, an oppressor with an oppressor. Right? And then Allah will take revenge from both of them. Right? So is it a good thing that Hezbollah is copying it from Israel? Like it's like, and which one is a greater evil?
It's just
right?
Hezbollah, it's innocent people in Lebanon.
Oh yeah, of course.
So you can't, like, this is the problem. This is
it's very messy and it's hard
this is where you're going along the narrative of
No, I'm just mentioning to you what's
Hezbollah.
Listen.
I'm sorry.
They are targeting Hezbollah.
But they're blanket bombing southern Lebanon.
That's the way they operate. That's their, modus operandi. So the thing is that it's for the people that's in Syria, they are happy that he got killed and Hezbollah's copying it. I mean, they suffered so much at their hands under the Syrian government. So now, and it's dividing people, right? And it's a complex issue. So, like, for example, then what do you do, like, when Iran, and has like the Taliban, which is a Sunni regime, Sunni government, and then they said they will give support to, and they send their condolences to Iran, to their president was killed in a helicopter crash, and they give their, so we're ready to go fight, like with Hezbollah and so forth. So, like, then what do you do? Like, if a Sunni's power is now dealing with them, so it's very, very messy. And how much of Hezbollah's like foot soldiers are really Shia? That's another thing. Like, is it all Shia, or there's Palestinian? There's millions in Palestinian refugee camps. My understanding is a lot of the Hezbollah fighters are recruited from those camps as well.
There you go.
That's another thing as well. So but then people are attacked online for giving leniency in their towards the Iranian regime and its proxies. So
Iran hasn't done anything.
So you're like pro Shia, right? So this is happening online. I think Rumi, is that what you're referring to about how it's dividing the ummah? You made a few comments regarding that. I'm not sure if he's still there. There's a few people. Yeah. So that's a dilemma. Like, it's not so clear cut. And then, okay, so we're going to say we're going to be making, I mean, if you're saying this, Yeah, so he, like someone just said, I know a Sunni Lebanese brother who has many family members who are part of Hezbollah. Yeah, see, like, so it's not so black and white. People
the
try to
thing
make it
is,
black and
we're
white.
talking about innocence. For me, it's just about innocence.
Yeah, I mean the children, women getting
It's
killed,
crazy.
and yeah,
The
so,
zulm is
so
just
it is it's not black and white.
I read today there was a thing where this has happened in the 80s and 90s and still happening, where Israel drops toys with bombs in them. So when children go to pick them up, the story is about a 9-year-old girl. She picked up a green Jeep. Her hand got blown off. Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody else said, no, sorry, I watched that. Somebody else, not the hand being blown off, but it was a TikTok. But then I researched this, and research has been done on one of their tactics of war, dropping toys full of explosives. And in Lebanon, apparently, southern Lebanon, it's known that you don't pick up a toy that's not yours, that you don't, know about.
SubhanAllah, that's crazy.
Like, what level
It's
does your brain have to be that evil?
Diabolical, yeah. It's crazy. That's crazy way for a human being to think about another.
Yeah, but the thing is, I was thinking about that. Is it a crazy way for a human being to think about another way? But if you firmly believe that you're humans and everyone else are just human animals, even then, would you do that to an animal?
Yeah, you must have definitely some. Yeah, is belief enough to?
It's not. It's that transcends belief. That's not about belief.
Yeah.
That's just about you being an evil prick.
Yeah. It's like that's a twisted mind.
Yeah, that's not belief. That's just you getting your jollies now.
Yeah.
Like, out of this stuff.
That's crazy.
Like, you see the idea of soldiers when they dress up in women's underwear. I mean, is that how an elite soldier behaves?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't really follow the Geneva Conventions, I guess.
No, the Geneva Convention was written for the Eastern world, not the West.
Yeah.
To keep them in check. And the
I wonder if they'll bring
now,
Rumsfeld or whoever else,
Oh, Cheney, Rumsfeld, they should all be dragged before the courts.
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah, and was the one that died? The general, the African American.
Oh yeah, Powell.
Powell, yeah, he died. I think he died. A lot of these guys are dying or dead now. Yeah.
But Allah's giving them a long life, man. Have you noticed that? These guys live for a long time. I don't know if it's the endochrome, what it is, but they live for a long time.
Yeah. So the people that are concerned, like from an Aqidah point of view, if someone is, we know that the Yahud, they are kafir, it's clear cut. For the Shia, if they believe in X, Y, Z in general, if they believe in this thing and this thing, this thing, not necessarily like Hezbollah as a group, which is predominantly led by Shia, and if they have certain beliefs, then we can say that this person is a kafir also. So just kafir finding kafirs. So then whichever one is more harmful, less harmful, like which one do you want to succeed, and which one is worse for the long term of the Muslims, But I think somebody that carries,
You're very controversial right now.
Someone who carries hateful views against the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or the Sahaba radiallahu anhum in its entirety, then one of the Imams, there's ayat of Quran, that people who carry, Allahumma ighfir li ikhwan ladina sabaquna bil iman, Allah forgive those believers who passed away before us with iman. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ فِي قُلُوبِنَا غِلَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, and do not make any rancor, hatred in our heart for any believer. That is actually mu'min. That was regarding Sahaba radiallahu anhum. So any believer that we should not Allah keep our heart clean for any believer, right? So if the Shia in regards to in the book it mentioned that the Jews and Christians are better than the Shia in one respect. They like the Christians hold the disciples of Isa alayhi salam, right, in high esteem, right, and the Jews hold the followers of Moses, Musa alayhi salam, in high esteem, but the Shia hate the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said because of this hatred that they carry in them, that Allah will never. It's amazing that we read this tafsir written by Qadi Sanaullah, but it comes in all the tafsir before that as well. Qadi Sanaullah Panipati in Tafsir al-Mazhari, you can read this where I read it. And he said that they carry the hatred of those who carry the hatred of Sahaba radiallahu anhu. Imagine if you have enmity to the friend of Allah, Allah declares war on you. If you have enmity to the wife and the of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what do you think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala do? So every time, an interesting statement that this Imam made is Imam Malik bin something, not Malik bin Anas, the famous Imam Malik, another Imam. He said that every time they will light a fire of war, Allah will extinguish it. Every time, and they'll never be able to get a foothold because of this thing that they have in them, this sickness that they have in them. Like that's offensive to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we can sort of like turn our blind eye from the Aqidah point of view and say, look at geopolitics. We can weigh the pros and cons. We can, the lesser of two evils, all the arguments. Ultimately, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who will. And that statement of the Imam Malik statement is very apt that the two zalims, Hezbollah and these groups, they are zalimin to the Sunnis. That's a fact. Iran included, and the way they've treated the Sunnis in the region. And since they are the mainstream Muslims, right, they've mistreated them, especially in Syria. They've brutalized them. And so they are zalimin. Now they've got a bigger zalim that's come with the support of US and so forth. The innocents, of course, will suffer in the middle. Now a zalim is zalim. So Allah will make the zalim hit by another zalim, and then Allah will take revenge from one zalim with another zalim, and then Allah will take revenge from both of them. So that's what we're seeing playing out. So ultimately, yeah, you have to sidestep, and if only but the people that are in the villages there, the people that are living there, the people that are just they're doing their daily life, trying to survive, then they're the ones going to.
That's the ones that are worried.
Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the Muslims and the innocent.
I mean,
inshallah. All right,
dude, it got cold in here.
Huh? It's the water, mate. It's if you just come with me and have a cream-filled croissant.
Wow, you're really gonna do that right now. I've got like less than 12 hours.
You'll be all right, inshallah. You'll warm up, and a nice coffee, inshallah. You'll warm up very quickly.
You are really gonna do that right now.
Astaghfirullah. All right, inshallah.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anything else happened this week?
That's it for today.
Yeah.
Make dua. But the thing, my takeaway from this is I need to think about death more often, because yes, thinking of dunya. When I reflect just these last few weeks, when you focus so much on dunya, it is dark, extreme darkness for the heart. Definitely.
Someone said, I'm born in 95. I've only seen Muslims in crisis.
Yeah, same.
Not really.
I was born in 77.
Not really. I mean,
actually, no, pre-world, no, it's, even, let's think about this, pre-September 11.
Look, remember after the winter, there will come a spring, inshallah. So if you're that young, then you will, if you live long enough, inshallah, you'll see the spring of Islam.
Are you the Jon Snow of the Muslims?
You'll see the spring of Islam, inshallah.
You have no idea what I'm talking about.
Winter, and I don't know what you're talking
winter
about.
Winter is coming.
No, winter is going to end one day, inshallah. So don't worry.
Inshallah it will
end. And just think about the Muslims that were in Makkah Mukarramah, like Sumayya radiallahu became Shahida, and Yasir radiallahu became Shaheed. They didn't see Medina Munawwara. And just think about the Sahaba that died in Badr, or became Shaheed in Badr. They didn't see the victory of Badr. They died in Badr. Like, just think about that. Like, they only saw Muslims getting attacked and became shaheed in that battle. Or the Muslims that became shaheed in Uhud, they saw the victory of the previous 1 year, one victory. And then next year, they became shaheed, like Musab bin Umair, the great companions. So it was like Hamza radiallahu anhu, he became shaheed in Uhud, and other Sahaba as well. So they didn't see like the spread of Islam. They saw Muslims being attacked every year, right? Until Khandaq. So, but the people that died in Makkah Mukarramah, they never, imagine, just think about that. Like, this is the only place as Muslims in the world, as far as they know. And some that migrated, they ran away to Habasha, like they had to run away. Rasulullah sent them there. And that's it. Like, there's no Medina Munawwara, there's no on the horizon, there's nothing. And all Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could say to them when he walked past that family was, Sabr al Yasir, be patient, patience, O family of Yasir. And, Yasir radiallahu anhu, he said, is Ammar bin Yasir's father, him and his wife became the first shaheeds in Islam. He said that ad-dahru hakada, or hakada ad-dahr, or something along those lines. Such is life. This is life. Life is like that.
So Ned Kelly copied him.
Yeah, they stole everything from us. So he goes, life is like that. Life is just like that. So that's what they had to go through. They were tortured till death. So if you think from their perspective that Islam will spread, there'll be 1.5, 2 billion Muslims, a Muslim from Indonesia to Morocco. So, wallahu alam, we can
sitting in a studio talking about Islam.
Yeah, or we'll be, there'll be madrasas in Australia. So sometimes you have to look at the net and things. I think we look at the bigger picture, like political, geopolitics, and one of my teachers said when he opens a book, reads a book about Sahaba, sometimes he said our past was munawwar, was bright, enlightened and bright. I don't know how to say it. And he said when you look up from the pages of the books and you look see our situation, he goes, it just like it sends you to like a depression. And so it's true. What you're saying is true, not just the crisis after, because we're coming closer to Qiyamah. But to say that there's no hope or there's no goodness or there's no these crises will end, and many of them are manufactured, and the ummah will return back to deen, and deen will enter into every house. That's a promise of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Islam will enter into every house, willingly, unwillingly. So that's coming, and Muslims have won in our own lifetime in the last few years. Have a look at where Muslims have won. They have won. There are victories. They're not all losses. And when it comes, then we'll be. Sometimes we just have to hit rock bottom. I'm not saying this is a precursor to Mahdi alayhi salam. We don't know when because we always our default goes to Mahdi alayhi salam, someone so far in the future. We don't even know when he's going to come. But one of the things about him is that he will fill the world with justice, just as it was filled with zulm.
Allah.
So that means even when the world fills entirely with zulm, right, with oppression,
and it's not filled
then
with zulm
justice,
yet.
then and justice. But I'm mentioning this because there is an example of the Muslim will be so desperate for him to come. It mentioned the hadith that they'll be desperate for him to come, that the pain of the Muslims will be so much. Despite that, Allah will send him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, despite the desperation and how bleak the situation looks, a man will come thing. So there could be many, many innings in between.
Yep.
It doesn't necessarily mean that our current condition is the last. So when the Crusaders, they went ransacked the Muslim lands and so forth. So people thought that was no. It took 100 years. They got booted out. When the Tatar, the Mongolians, they came. It was undefeatable right until the Mamalik of Egypt faced them, and finally defeated Ain Jalut. Irony of it all, where did they beat them? At the spring of Goliath, where Dawood alayhi salam defeated Goliath. So alhamdulillah, I had a chance to go through there, to go to the Ain Jalut.
Feel anything?
So no, one Israeli came up to us and he said, there's a place called Armageddon. He goes, I think Armageddon, that's where it's from. But from what I said, Armageddon will happen near Damascus. But he said that, we're going to fight all you Muslims here.
Wow.
And he goes, that's like, he just walked up, we're parked at it's like a park, like a place. And he said, we're going to.
He actually said that.
Yeah, he came. We go, all right, we'll see you, inshallah. So we're going to fight you all. I'm going to kill you all. They said that just like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, crazy. Like,
we're going to fight you and kill you all.
Yeah, like it was a right-wing stream sort of. This is like 10 years ago. But anyway, that's so all right.
Cheers, mate.
Ultimately, even if we lose the world, but we die with Islam and Deen, then we've won still. Even if you lose the whole world, and we lose every kingdom and everything, but if we get Allah and His Rida, we die with Iman, then we got everything. Read Surah Duha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave hope to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Read the meaning of that, reflect on the meaning of that. Surah Mufti Haris might have gone. Surah about Ashabul Ukhdud, Nar Dhatul Uqud, that surah. Sama'un Shaqqat. So read the surah, and those surahs about the people being thrown into the fire. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, Allah help us all. And I said, thank you, my heart is feeling less heavy, and Allah protect you both in good health. Ameen. You too, inshallah. And all the brothers and sisters and the Ummah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
But that's a very good point that you made.
What's that?
There's always light at the end of the darkness. After every hardship, Allah brings ease.
Yeah, inshallah.
And we do lose sight of the fact. I think social media has a lot to do with it. Yeah. All right. On that note.
Yes, just remember that social media and the news, not just social media,
mainstream media,
rewards the negative and rewards the, like people that don't have Iman, they only reward the dunya, right? Yeah, so, for example, they did a study, I think Rand Corporation, one of those things, they did a study, like a survey in Pakistan, that majority of, this was a problem, majority of Pakistani university students believe that natural disasters are caused by our sins. Right? And that was a problem. Yeah, I said, alhamdulillah. Thanks for the survey, because he gave me.
There's hope for that country yet, mate.
Yeah, so it's
Wow.
Surah Buruj, Jazakallah khair. Thank you for reminding Surah Buruj. Read Surah Buruj about Ashab al-Ukhdud. They were thrown into the fire alive. And
Who was?
This nation, they were thrown into a fire, they were killed by the thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even gives an excuse for the kafirs that did that to the Muslims. And he goes, they didn't even make tawbah. Read the surah and see.
Well, you gotta elaborate.
So
on
they
this.
threw this whole people, mothers, children, women, they dug a trench and put a fire and threw them all in. Surah Buruj is in the last juz. And I mean, you have to read other than the last 10 surahs, man. You know, Fatiha, last 10 surahs. But anyway, let's not go there. But so Surah Buruj, if you read that, and in there it mentioned that they didn't even, and then they didn't even make tawbah. Like people who did that to them. Meaning that if they, I think Mufti Shafi Sahib rahmahullah, if they were to make tawbah after killing Muslim, put him live into the fire,
Allah would have forgiven them.
Allah would have forgiven them. But they didn't even make tawbah either. So, but those people left this world and they succeeded. And there's a long hadith related. Read in Ma'arif al-Quran, the tafsir, Surah Buruj, read all the narrations that are there about the boy from Yemen that was brought and how he, and the magician that he was learning from, and the sheikh, or the pious person that he was learning from, and on, and how that people became Muslim, and how they were killed. They left this world with no worldly thing. This is why, so we shouldn't measure things in terms of worldly gain. Like even Sayyidina Hussein radiallahu anhu went down in Karbala. Nobody calls Hussein radiallahu anhu as a failure. Right? Musab bin Umair had one arm cut, another arm cut, lost his life. Musab suffered a painful, not a defeat, but many people were taken, many people were killed, became shuhada. And Ammar bin Yasir, Abdurrahman bin Auf radiallahu anhu, he was one of the 10 promised Jannah. Years later, he's remembering him being killed in the battle. There's no cloth for his coffin, and there's not enough cloth to cover his body. And there's a hot food brought to him, and he looked at it and he remembered Musa bin Umair, and he said that he was better than us, but he didn't see this. And he was looking at the food, and he was crying. He was better until the food became cold and couldn't bring himself to eat it. So those are the good times later on, the conquest. Rasul Umar radiallahu anhu, when he saw the conquest and the mal ghanima, the spoils of war coming, the treasures of Persia coming into Medina Munawwara, and he looked at it and he said that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't see this, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu didn't see this. Allah is giving our reward in this dunya. So we want a reward in the akhirah anyway. Just we don't want to see Muslims suffering, Muslims being pain, but they'll be rewarded for everything, repaid back by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for them. Barakallah fikum.
Jazakallah khairan.
Catchup.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
It was a very Islamic podcast.